Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gerzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gerzon.
Hello.
How's it going? This is episode 3 of the Overdrive AF podcast. Super excited to bring this episode to you guys. The first two I felt like went really well. Loving the fact that we already got a few under our belts. And
a lot of really good feedback.
A lot of great feedback.
People are loving it.
Yeah, a lot more people are listening than I thought we would actually get, which is hysterical to me. But, yeah, whatever. So, I don't know. Let's just jump right into our first topic.
All right, cool.
So, this topic is 5 meal prep check-ins. Gina, take it away.
Yeah. So we were just kind of basing it off of the first two podcasts that we released on habits and the new year and kind of setting this 2020 off right. So I was talking to you about meal prep check-in. So we were talking about getting our meals prepped for the day, for the week, and even per meal, and what those meals would encompass. So I have everything listed, but I'm going to kind of go a little bit out of order because I actually like this order better now. So when we talk about meal prep and getting our foods together, so what would we want that meal to encompass? So when I speak to all of our nutrition clients and our athletes too, which nutrition is such a priority, so we talk about proteins, carbs, and fats. So our primary focus right there, one of the first things that should be on your plate, whether it's in that meal or in that snack, where is your protein? Where is the protein coming from? Where is that protein-dense food coming from? Right? So protein is that primary nutrient, most important nutrient of that meal or that snack. So proteins, right, they build and repair. They help to make enzymes and hormones. They help with all these cellular processes, right? So we want to talk about what would that encompass in your meal. So could it be chicken or fish or beef or pork or turkey? Could it be eggs, egg whites, maybe some dairy product like cottage cheese or yogurt? For all you vegetarian-based eaters, so that you'd have to get a little bit more creative with your proteins, combining foods. And maybe we'll talk more about that on another episode, so we don't take up too much time. But so I like to when we preach this at Overdrive and even in our transformation challenges, which plug on that, right? That'll be starting Monday, January 27th. Correct?
Yeah, nice little shameless plug. Yeah. Next transformation challenge.
Team transformation challenge, 3 people.
Yes.
So getting back into it, when I talk to my ladies, I like to say, if we look at our bodies, we look at our hands and say, well, 1 palm is about 3 to 4 ounces. So ladies, about 3 to 4 ounces. Gentlemen, our palms are a little larger for the gentleman most likely, so we're going to use about 2 of those. All right? Maybe 6 to 8 ounces. Could be a little less, could be a little more, depending upon that person, that individual. Where are the carbs coming from? So number 2 on your plate or in your snack. So carbohydrates, when we talk about, that's our primary source of energy. It gets stored in the body, in the muscle tissue, in the liver. Your body's going to jump right to that to take that energy and use that energy and have that energy. It helps to spare proteins and fats, and they can do their business. So where are your carbs coming from, right? Could it be potato or sweet potato? Could it be some cereal like Cheerios or oatmeal? Some fresh fruit, things like that, rice cakes. We always talk about getting, those, we want to make good choices on those carbs too, right, Teddy?
Absolutely.
So minimally processed, things like that.
Lots of Pop-Tarts.
Lots of Pop-Tarts, exactly. And then, we talk about something that most of the people that I do work with, unfortunately, we're trying to teach good habits here, right, one at a time. So where are your vegetables coming from? Veggies. Veggies are your micronutrients, right? Vitamins and minerals, which most of us don't get enough of, especially when we're working so much, right? Most of us aren't sleeping enough. We're pushing our bodies, and especially when we're training, and you athletes too, we're not getting enough of those vitamins and minerals. So we want to eat, the rainbow, right? We want to get at least, and again, we're using our body, we want to get at least one fistful. That's going to be at about a cup or so. Fill half your plate with those vegetables on those main meals, and even in your snacks, if you're feeling like having some crunch, cooked, raw, whatever. And then, with the fiber in those vegetables, it could help reduce cholesterol. The studies show it could also help reduce heart disease. There's a lot of things I keep saying vitamins and minerals because they're full of them, that your vegetables can do for you. And then finally, in regards to the food type, fats. Where are your fats coming from? So again, minimally processed. We need some fat to function, guys. Hormone development. They are essential to produce hormones. They lubricate your joints, right? They keep you warm. They help to support cell growth. Gives the body energy too on the days maybe we're not training as hard or we're not training at all. Fat can be a viable source of energy. It helps to cushion your organs, and all those other good things. I could go on and on about what each of these valuable foods do. So we want to get foods in like nuts and seeds, olive oil, avocado, walnuts, olives, the fats in your cottage cheese or your yogurt, almond butter, peanut butter, things like that. We want nice combinations of those foods in our meals and snacks to allow us to perform at our best. Whether it's 12 hours of work, whether it's, being able to be there for our team, right? In the cold weather now, especially. And then one thing that I think, because we're always in a rush, I think most of us are always in a rush. We're trying to get so much done in a day. There's only 24 hours in a day, and sometimes that's not enough time. Are you eating slowly? So are you putting that cell phone down? Are you closing the computer? Are you being mindful about what's on your plate? Chewing your food? Breathing? Things like that. And, take about 15 to 20 minutes to eat that meal. Don't inhale it. And I know Teddy's going to kill me when I say that, but because he can eat a burger probably in 2 minutes, and it takes me about 10. So stop eating when we're about 80% full, but be mindful about chewing your food, taking the time to enjoy your meal and what you're putting into your body, because at the end of the day, you will feel better. You will perform better. And day in, day out, week to week, things will change for your body, in your body. You will notice those positive changes.
So we had our daily stop from the UPS guy. I step away for maybe 30 seconds. I come back and you're talking smack about the way I eat. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. So if that means that I have to drive a quarter mile in 10 seconds, which I can't, my car's not that fast, but I can definitely pound down some food, like maybe 5 or 6 burgers in 10 seconds at a time. So, you know what, why don't you just leave me alone, because I do enjoy it that way.
We're talking about eating slowly.
Yeah, so whatever. There's no time to eat slowly. Let's go back to some of the things you just spoke about. So veggies. Potatoes are veggies, right? So French fries, they come out of the ground. Those are clearly veggies.
Technically a carbohydrate.
Yeah, whatever. You're a liar. Fats, plenty of bacon, right?
Bacon's a fat.
Bacon is a fat.
You could definitely have some bacon.
Hell yeah.
Not all the bacon, but some bacon. Not the whole sleeve of bacon. But we can have bacon.
Attacking me again.
Yeah.
But as long as it's crispy, right? Because anyone that likes chewy bacon's a sociopath.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, fucking psychos.
Yeah. I like to combine fats too. I think I want everybody to just remember that they can combine fats. So all different types of fats too. You should be always giving yourself a variety of foods, a variety of proteins, a variety of carbs, a variety of fats, a variety of vegetables. It should be fun. That should be fun. Make it fun.
But on a real note, yeah, I do stress this a lot to our athletes too. You really do need to eat your veggies. right? A lot of them don't know who John Wayne is, but as true or not true as it is, I mean, the story of him dying with impacted shit was enough for me as a child to be like, you know what? I'm gonna eat my fucking veggies, because I don't want a mile-long shit stuck in my body. It, it's funny because we had, we're going to speak about it later, but we had someone in here that was at first reluctant to eat veggies when you had put it on his diet, and slowly he started to implement them. And then I remember saying to him a few months ago, I'm like, bro, you said you want to get ripped up and get that lean look, like, eat your veggies. And he was like, yo, seriously, that's all I gotta do? I fucked with him a little bit. I'm like, yeah, of course, that's all. I mean, just eat your veggies, you get jacked. I mean, look at fucking Popeye, right? So clearly,
which he is. He's jacked now.
Yeah, and obviously,
we're gonna
like,
talk about him in a little bit.
The spinach was clearly a metaphor for a meth problem, right? I mean, just pop a fucking can of something open, all of a sudden he gets jacked and, like, fights through anything. I mean, technically it could be PCP from what I've heard, so whatever. But speaking about, eating properly and nutrition, that does tie into a sense of conditioning, So, right now we're in the beginning of January, and, in about, let's say 2.5 months, almost 3 months, we'll be in the full swing of things of transitioning into spring sports, if not starting them, right? So at the beginning or even the preseason of every high school sports season, there's always some sort of bastardized conditioning program out there. So I actually wrote an article about this on our blog, I guess about 3 years now, and it was titled "Don't Bastardize Conditioning." So the reason why I bring that up is because, a lot of what always gets me is, us being strength coaches, is that, if we were to say anything to a sport coach, like the football coach, a softball coach, volleyball coach, basketball coach, whatever it may be, we're like, hey, you know what? You should run this play. They get all pissed off. Mm-hmm. Tell us to basically stay in our lane. Mm-hmm. But because technically we're not experts in those sports. All right, fine, whatever. I don't see why there's a double standard, why these same sport coaches can turn around and be like, you know what? This is what you should do with the athletes. It's like, whoa, pump the fucking brakes, bro. Like, you're going to tell me that what I do for a living doesn't reach your standards because, I don't know, you started fucking doing some bullshit ass lifting when you were like 8? Like, that, and it had no effect, on why or why not you were good. Like, I mean, I don't know. I can go on and on and on about that, but let's just bring this back to conditioning and why it's so important. So, when it comes to conditioning, it's a lot more than just running your athletes to the ground. It's a lot more than just making you feel pain, right? There is a science to it, and if you want to really be extremely effective in planning out a conditioning program and executing it properly and reaping all the benefits from it, then you will have complete regard to the central nervous system. So remember, when it comes to conditioning, what are you trying to improve? You're trying to improve your energy output, right? You want to increase the amount of work that you can create. So, why is all this important? Why do I bring this up? Why is this such a big deal to me? Well, because athletes come in here all the time for us to make them better. The second they leave, they go to their sport, they go to their practice, whatever it may be. Let's say they're playing lacrosse. They go to lacrosse practice, their coach just has them, and we're talking, some of them are D1, D2 college lacrosse players. The coach has them running a timed 2.5 mile, 3 mile. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, if you were to actually take a stopwatch and time, start and stop that stopwatch on every explosive play that athlete had, they're not running a continuous mile the entire game. They need to be able to create some sort of anaerobic explosion, some explosive movement for a short amount of time, usually not more than 10 seconds, which is extremely long anyway, You know, it's for maybe a few seconds, and then they got to shut it down, regather themselves, do it again, and be able to repeat that, right? You're never going to do that if all you're doing is executing some sort of cardio bunny workout. So I'm not going to call out any types of gyms or companies out there, but, you know, it's just hysterical to me that, you know, let's go back to lacrosse again. You know, a lot of college lacrosse players that come in here, they're held to some ridiculously, in my eyes, stupid run test that doesn't translate to their game of basically repeated efforts of long sprints. So the athletes feel pressured to, you know, run on a treadmill for an hour at a time, 4 to 5 times a week, running basically miles and miles a day, when that's not gonna make them better. Like, you know, when it comes to increasing your aerobic capacity, and that's the energy system, you know, that's probably the energy system you definitely need to, no, I shouldn't say probably, it's the energy system that you definitely need to improve first. But once you improve it, you only need to work on it every 30 days. That's it. You know, sprint work needs to be done every 5 to 7 days. Once you create a foundation for your aerobic system, you don't need to run fucking 3, 5, 7 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Like, I mean, unless you just want to fucking sit the bench or constantly get hurt, you know.
And we take pride on really waiving everything in here, whether it's for
Absolutely.
our athletes or our adults, right?
Yes.
We do that for a reason. Everything, there's methods that we follow in here on purpose to keep everybody at their best. We tax them to a certain point, we push them, and then we let them recover.
Yes, and that's not to get that mixed up with the term muscle confusion, because I hate that fucking term. It's fucking stupid. A comedian made it up. Yes, I'm saying he's a comedian because he was a comedian. He was a fucking beach mime before he actually became a trainer, quote unquote. So I'm not even going to mention that person. You guys can Google the shit out of that if you want. But yeah, muscle confusion, fucking suck it. That's bullshit. But let's bring this back to conditioning. So, you know, why is conditioning so important? Well, the body cannot work or survive without energy, right? So in the body, energy is provided in the form of ATP, which is also known as adenosine triphosphate, okay? Where's ATP produced? It's produced by the body from the foods it consumes. Then that is used aerobically, which the word aerobic means with oxygen. It's used, the food is then transferred through your body with oxygen, and anaerobically, which means without oxygen, right? Between the aerobic system and the anaerobic system, the aerobic system is most efficient, right? So let's also go back to one basic fundamental point too when it comes to energy system training. Although there's 3, there's the aerobic, anaerobic lactic, anaerobic alactic, your body's never using only one at a time. So it's important to work all 3, right? Again, it's just why I can't stand when people really want to see any type, like even for our weekday warriors, you want to see great physical changes in your body, but you want to tell me that all you're concerned about is fucking spinning or running, and that's all you're ever doing. Meanwhile, like, if that's all you ever do and it's not getting you anywhere, why would you continue to keep doing it? That's literally the definition of insanity. Whatever. We can talk about that in another episode because I'm going to need a lot more time to rant about that. So, you know, between the aerobic system and anaerobic system, the aerobic system is most efficient, right? Properly programmed conditioning will increase an athlete's work capacity, thus resulting in more ATP production, which in turn means more energy, right? Now, going back to our first topic, you know, about nutrition, none of this matters or will be as effective as possible if you're not eating properly. So if you're not getting your micronutrients from all the veggies that you should be eating, if you're not getting enough carbs, which is why I hate when people are like, I'm just going to detox, I'm not going to eat any carbs. Oh, yeah, fuck it, you know. Carbs. You don't need the carbs. Yeah, you know,
You need carbs.
I guess you just want to die. That's what you want to do.
Yes, you can lose weight by eating carbs.
Yes, everybody needs carbs.
And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
And don't say that, like, you're cutting carbs to lose weight, when meanwhile the thing you should be cutting is your bullshit-ass alcohol problem. right? Like, stop binge drinking every fucking weekend, right? Nobody needs 3 bottles of wine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then, like, always have the excuse of, like, oh, well, there's football on, so I'm going to drink a case of Bud Light. I'm like, motherfucker, drink a glass of scotch and have some water. It'd be more effective. You're just going to drink fucking alcoholic water? Bud fucking Light? Get the fuck out of here. Grow up. Not in college anymore. Most of you people that are listening, I know who you are. I mean, if you're looking to shotgun something, definitely don't shotgun any scotch. You can't do that. It's impossible.
What about, can we bring it back to one of the stories we heard is this past summer where one of our wonderful athletes, whom I love, A Quiet Storm, I think, she was saying about how she lost 30 pounds during season because the coach kept running them to the ground, literally.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ground. She lost 30 pounds and she was weak.
She wasn't even big anyway.
No,
but like, so someone skinny losing 30 pounds is ridiculous.
Any coach that's out there.
And she wasn't sick. She didn't have a disease.
And they weren't lifting properly either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
And then 6 girls quit that team. 6 women quit that team. It's a college sport.
One of the horror stories that we've heard. One of the many.
For improper
There's got to be
conditioning.
some sort of programming and, method to the madness. Just going ham all the time. There's no background for that.
No, and the problem is, if sport coaches want strength coaches stay in their lane, then, that's got to be a two-way street. So when it comes to, expertise in that field, the sport coach needs to listen to the strength coach. And if things aren't working out, then you know what? Sport coach, just do it yourself.
And respect each other. You don't have to like each other, respect each other. But let them do their job, you do your job, and the athlete will benefit, and so will the team. And, right, team is everybody that's on it. So we're not just talking about one person.
So, bringing back to, aerobic capacity improvements, right? I'm just going to go back off of, what I was saying a few years ago, So, like, what I said was aerobic exercise requires the body to take in oxygen. It then delivers it to the lungs, transfers it into the blood, then pumps it to the working muscles where it is utilized to oxidize carbs and fats in order to produce ATP. Aerobic training also stimulates the heart to adapt by becoming larger and stronger through exercise to supply the body's increasing demand for oxygen. The heart then becomes more efficient by pumping more blood per beat. Pumping more blood per beat will result in less beats to supply the same amount of oxygen. So again, going back to nutrition, why is it so important? Well, it's going to help the heart work better. If your heart's not pumping out enough blood and it's not delivering enough oxygen to the lungs, nothing's ever going to get better. And you can't do that if all you're doing is running your athletes to the fucking ground and all they're doing is wheezing, right? And let's talk about it too. How many times have we seen athletes just get run to the ground and they don't even know how to fucking run? That's just ridiculous. Going back to the UGG slippers, I guess we can go back on that. But you know what? We're trying to keep this episode under 3 hours today.
Let's not watch their gait. Let's not watch how their body absorbs the shock, how their foot strikes the ground, right? All those things are extremely important.
So then the final points I made 3 years ago on this article, and we'll link this article out in the show notes. So aerobic energy production requires a constant and adequate supply of oxygen and is often termed the oxidative system, as it involves several body systems, including the respiratory, cardiovascular, muscular, and endocrine systems. Through a complex series of chemical reactions, glycogen and fats, eat your fats, are broken down in the presence of oxygen to provide energy to be transferred into ATP. The aerobic system produces much more ATP than the anaerobic system and gains far more ATP when using fat as a fuel, since it is able to break down fat to provide energy. So I can't stress any more on how important it is to have this balanced diet that we constantly preach about, and mainly you know, because you are in charge of our nutrition here. So going back to the bouts of explosiveness, it seems that conditioning with an aerobic oxidative focus would be counterproductive. But athletes can't create high operational outputs without having high maximal outputs. They can't develop high maximal outputs without having a high oxidative capacity. So you're never going to be able to be continuously explosive unless you have an aerobic system that is actually developed.
And then from there you build on that.
Yes. And an athlete with a high oxidative capacity is an athlete with more mitochondrial dense tissue than the average person. So, all in all, first develop your aerobic system.
Lay down.
Give us 1 second. Tighten, Raj, come on. And I'm going to buzz them. What I love so far is that although episodes 1 and 2 were unlisted on YouTube, we got a decent amount of views. And from those views, people have actually come in over the last week and said that they just love seeing the dogs in the videos. So when those videos are up, for anyone that wants to actually watch these and see what our gym looks like, especially with the dogs that are always here with us, Titan and Brejol. And Titan turns 9 this week, so if anybody wants to come and celebrate with us, we're doing doggy keg stands on Saturday night.
We're just going by what the vet said. He's going to live forever.
He's going to live forever, yeah. We figured out how to do that. So, yeah. But you can always go to overdrivefitnessny.com/podcast. All the podcasts will be up there. You can check out those episodes. So, most importantly, I've repeated over and over and over ATP, and I'm sure I've lost some of you guys because I personally love to get very scientific and, pretty nerdy when it comes to all this stuff, but that's because I'm just super passionate about it. But going back to what I said in the beginning, when it comes to conditioning, it's so important to create a plan around, basically a scientific plan that has high regard to your central nervous system, because once your central nervous system breaks down, it could take too long for it to recover, and that's a huge setback. So like if it shuts down, you may need a full week off, which could actually set you back a month, depending on how meticulous your plan is laid out, especially in regard to time and when you have to be ready, right? So for an upcoming season at least.
And if you tie that in with not sleeping enough, not eating right, if they've got exams going on for athletes, or if one of the adults is working overtime or 2 jobs, or running to their daughter's basketball game, running to their son's wrestling match, or whatever. Maybe they're heading out to a date night in the city on Friday night, and it's already been a long work week. So,
Yeah.
everything's waived on purpose. You got to be smart about it.
So if we tell you not to go at 80% on a given day when you're scheduled for 85, just listen to us, because we want you here for the longevity. We're not about quick results. We never were. We're never going to be, because
It's almost like an oxymoron, though. Quick results. I don't know. It's like what do you call that? Not an oxymoron. What is that word, Teddy?
I don't know. It just
It
sounds
doesn't
like
make
someone
sense,
that's
basically.
super. Yeah. In all in all, it's just someone that's super impatient. Like, you want the results yesterday.
We want
But-
long-lasting.
Yeah, but at the same time, what you're willing to fail more and more in the long run. I mean, whatever.
And the drive to fail is okay. We want to push, but to a point, and when it's appropriate,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. But the last point on ATP, they say that if you were to extract all of it from your body and pour it into a glass, it would literally only fill maybe a shot glass, or maybe as much as a small juice glass, like something you would get in a diner or something. So, that's not a lot. So think about that. If you drain that from your entire body because your coach was running you to the fucking ground every day of the week just for the sake of conditioning, quote unquote conditioning, you know, and then how good are your athletes going to be for you if you're a coach, if all you're doing is just killing them? You know, there's a time and a place for mental toughness training, and honestly, in my experience, the kids either got it or they don't. And if they're just not mentally tough, they're just not mentally tough. It's not in their genetics. And that's fine. Maybe they just need to find another sport or just not play a sport, pick up another hobby. I don't know what to tell you. Just stop being so fucking soft. SAWFT, soft. But speaking about dedication, you know, somebody constantly following his instructions under your tutelage, at least, when it comes to, you know, sticking to the plan, whether it's his nutrition plans over the years or, you know, the yearly programming that we deliver through our Weekday Warrior class here at Overdrive Fitness. Why don't we highlight? We'll highlight our first Weekday Warrior here, Rich Matt.
Rich Matt. That's right, Titan. So Rich came to us about, I don't know, 2.5 years ago? Wouldn't you say about two and a half years ago?
Yeah, roughly.
Probably. I was going through his file before. Low 150s weighing in at. I think he was doing some pull-ups, some push-ups, that kind of stuff, like just, you know, body weight stuff. Working what he knew. And over the years, he wanted to get ripped. So we worked on that, and we got him down. Didn't lose much weight, so, you know, we did it right. Lost a nice amount of body fat, pushed himself within about 2 months' time. He was in the single digits, body fat, single digits. I think weighing in at his lightest, but ripped, 5.6, I think, percent body fat, and we built off of that. So we built off that. Now it's a little over 2 years. We worked on some mass, and now he's weighing in at 177, a solid 177 at 5'7". Body fat is nice, low. He's ripped up. His numbers are on point with his squat, bench, deadlift. Not only is he coming in for his Weekday Warrior classes, talk about commitment, daily habits, on point with his eating, getting his foods in. Macros are solid. I give him props because he has questions, he asks them. If he makes a mistake, he owns up to it. And he gets right back on the path. And he's, again, not only sticking to his Weekday Warrior classes 5-6 days a week, he has now started, what we've started here is our small group personal training, SGPT, twice a week for an hour, getting his 2 days of small group training in, paired up with his Weekday Warrior classes. So I give him props. He's been committed, I gotta tell you, committed for over 2 years now. Solid, 5 or 6 days a week, drinking his water, eating his meals, getting his macros in, you know, proteins, carbs, fats, his veggies, sticking to the plan. And talk about habits, he's got those habits in check. So I gotta give him props. And Weekday Warriors see him, they give him props, they wanna look like him. You know, it's all about getting those habits down. It's all about that commitment. It's all about, what do you have in your mind? What do you have set for yourself? What do you choose, right?
Yeah, and it's hysterical because his nickname is Rip.
Rip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's living up to his name.
So we'll also link out in our show notes our YouTube channel, because if you go through our archives, you know, from when he started, there's a little promo video we did to promote our Weekday Warrior program, and it was actually like one of Rich's first classes. He just so happened to be here when we were filming that one day, And if you look at him then compared to now, he looked like a child back then. Like within
Totally
2 years,
different
just
person.
yeah, he tats, no muscle, and just literally looked like a child. But yeah, no, he looks good now.
I
No
mean, I
homo.
don't have his numbers in front of me, but all of his numbers have gone up significantly. Significantly. And he holds strong on those numbers. You tell him what to do, he does it. He's somebody great to talk to just ask about his journey. If any of you guys ever have any questions, come on in here. Ask Rich how he did it. Ask Rich what it was like. And he's still on the journey. It's a constant journey. And it's nice because he supports, the other people in the classes, and he's very humble, but he's very driven. So I got to give him props, Rich. You're obviously, people are seeing your results. They're seeing what you're doing. You're working hard, and you're working smart. I don't want to say but he's working smart. He listens. He appreciates the process. He embraces the process. Not every day is going to be perfect, right? And let's put that out there too. Not every day is going to be perfect, right? There's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be days when you're feeling pretty shitty. There's days when you're going to be feeling good. Are you getting your sleep? Are you doing things? Are you following the plan? Basically, are you following the plan? And we're here to help you. You got 2 coaches and several other trainers. 3 coaches and several other trainers that are here to really guide you and allow you to do your best or be at your best or wherever that best is for you that day. We're going to do the best that we can for you at that moment. So everyone's guided within that group setting appropriately for you. So, anything you have to say about that, Boo?
No, Rich, yeah, you've been
Props
killing
to
it.
Rich.
So
Props to Rich.
keep it up. Keep it up.
Be a shining example of what Weekday Warriors are here. And he is. He really is.
And let's not forget our sponsor for this week.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
this week's sponsor, speaking of, dedication, hard work, it's Rockland Junk Removal and Pressure Washing. So one of the easiest ways to get a hold of them, just rocklandjunk.com, right? If you need anything big or even small removed from your home, just hit up Rockland Junk. Owned and operated by John. And once you reach out to them, and you need a quote, they will offer a free quote or estimate. So, there's a lot of companies out there, and I'm not going to call them all out and start bashing them, but there's a lot of shysters out there as far as the junk removal game that will give you a ridiculously low ball quote, and then when it comes to pay, and I've heard this through other customers that we've had to refer out to Rockland Junk. They said that they'll get a low ball quote. All of a sudden, when it comes to pay, the owners of those companies will just double the charge at the end. Be like, oh, well, we had to add this, that, and the other into it. And then the worst thing is, they're not even licensed or insured. So when you get Rockland Junk to come remove any large item or do a house clean out or whatever it may be, right? Even if they just need to help you get rid of that busted water heater or old disgusting fridge sitting in your basement, not only are you getting the free quote, you're going to get very fast, fair service from a fully licensed and insured company. You won't get someone just walking into your house with dirty ass boots, leaving a mess everywhere, and then busting out the drywall trying to get rid of your grand piano that you just don't want anymore. They're going to do the job right. They're professionals. They've been around for a long time, and they're extremely experienced. So, again, shout out to Rockland Junk, this week's sponsor, Rockland Junk and Power Washing. And when the pressure washing, when the time comes, it starts to warm up.
John
you know,
Davanino, owner and operator.
Yes. And, if you do see the logo, it looks like it's a drawing of a man with a fridge on his shoulder and a trash bag in his left hand. It's not a drawing. Don't let your eyes fool you. That really happened. So, just rockandjunk.com. Rock and junk removal and pressure washing. You better not call anybody else. All right? So, what's your tagline? I don't remember. They don't have a jingle. It was something along the lines of, rock and junk removal and pressure washing. If you've got junk in the trunk and it's not flesh and bone, we'll probably get rid of it for you with a free estimate. What? That's what it was. Okay, maybe it wasn't, but I approved it for him, so suck
Teddy
it.
approved.
So, let's not forget, as we wrap this week's episode up, January 27th is, in short, TC5, Transformation Challenge 5 over at Overdrive Fitness. So, yes, like I said, January 27th, 2020, that's a Monday. That is the first official day of the competition. This time around, we're trying something new. We're doing teams of 3 because the best things come in threes, all right? So if you are interested in being one of our many successful stories when it comes to body transformations at Overdrive Fitness, then, just drop us a line. Email us, info@overdrivefitnessny.com. Put in the subject line, Transformation Challenge. And just tell us that you're interested. That after that, Gina or I will reach out to you, and we'll set up a free strategy session in which it's just a consultation with an assessment to go over, how we're going to create a roadmap to success for you so that you can achieve your goals and set you on a nice, long, successful path to not only reaching your goals but sustaining them for the rest of your life.
We did mention it was a 6-week challenge.
Yes, I did mention a 6-week challenge. If I didn't, then we're saying it again. It's a 6-week challenge. For those of you that have done it in the past and want to do it again, you are familiar with the fact that we also offer customized nutrition plans in these challenges. So we're just making an announcement this time that, the deadline to register, if you're going to use Gina's services as far as customized menus or macro nutrition planning, then you need to register with us by Monday, January 13th. Okay?
Yes. If you'd like to work a little bit, more closely with me to really dial in, and be pushed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you definitely want to do the challenge, we need to know no later than January 21st at noon. Okay? That's when the deadline ends. I know we said it starts on the 27th, but the 21st is the last official day we're taking entries, and that's it. Why is it ending on the 21st and not the 25th, that Saturday? Well, that's because we'll be spending that Wednesday of that week through Saturday in Jamaica for the wedding of 2 of our former Weekday Warriors.
Yeah, another
and
love story,
current,
another Overdrive love story.
Current online coaching clients of ours also.
Cece and Esteban.
Yes.
Cece and Esteban, they met here. Oh.
Getting married
in Jamaica. And
bunch of fools.
Really good friends with them.
Kidding.
Teddy
Don't kill me.
Started training Esteban at 13 or 14 years old. Oh no, I'm sorry.
I think 17, 18.
Yeah, 17, 18.
Something like that.
So it's still been a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah, I think he's like
We've
40
known
now,
Esteban.
right?
What?
I'm kidding. He's not 40 if he's listening.
Yeah,
he's
so
probably
we've
mad,
had,
but fuck him.
This is our 6th year now. We're entering into our 6th year, and we've had several love connections at Overdrive. So any of you singles out there that are looking for
love.
A healthy relationship based off of good habits, based off of, right?
Yeah.
We've had 3 now.
3 weddings.
Well, we've had 3 love connections.
3 love connections.
So CC
Couple
and Esteban
babies.
are one. Yeah, a couple babies. Yeah, so
Crazy.
I'm so happy for them because neither one of them were looking for that specifically, and it just kind of happened, and that's usually the way it goes.
Yeah. I totally understand what happened in Esteban. Similar thing happened to me. You know, this woman just wouldn't stop stalking me, and then I wound up saying, "Fine, let's just do this and get married." Okay, no one.
The story gets so old.
No, it doesn't.
The story gets so old.
But that's definitely not what happened.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, January 25th through the 22nd and 25th. To you Weekday Warriors and Overdrive athletes out there listening, we will be closed. You'll get constant reminders about that over the next few weeks. But that's because we'll be celebrating the wedding of Cece and Esteban. So
Yes.
congrats to them.
Yes.
And
Send out some good energy to them.
yeah.
And I'm so happy for them. We're so happy for them. I think Overdrive is so happy for them. So many of our members miss them and wish them the best. And God, they're just so happy for them.
We're going to have to start a dating service.
Oh my God. Write that on the list. Jeez.
Yeah. Marriages and carriages.
Get fit,
Over
get
at
healthy,
Overdrive.
Get married.
You can sweat together, lift together, anything else. Do that outside the gym, not on our
know.
property.
These
So,
are all good things, though.
yeah, they're
A lot
great
of good
things.
energy in here. We got a special community. We got a special thing going at Overdrive. I love it. Our members love it. I love our members. I love our athletes. We have very good energy in here. We're gonna keep it that way.
Yes.
But we do miss Cece and Esteban a lot.
So, yeah, that about wraps it up. That's episode 3 of Overdrive AF. Tune in next week to our next episode. And if there's anything you guys want to hear us speak about, just email us info@overdrivefitnessny.com. DM us on Twitter and Instagram at ODFitnessNY.
You want to go over a couple of takeaways real quick?
Sure. Takeaways.
So, right, proper meal planning, right? So, getting those meal prep check-ins, right? Protein, carbs, fats, veggies, and are we eating slowly? Are we taking time to eat?
Yes.
Conditioning.
Don't bastardize conditioning.
And shout out to Rich Matt for his progress over the past 2.5 years, being a real, what's the word I'm looking for? Just being a great example of consistency and daily habits, and really showing what Overdrive can do. You know, what if you just really put your mind to it, right?
Yeah.
And then
Close it out.
I don't have a jingle. My voice isn't ready for that.
All right. So, again, tune in next week for our next episode. And we're looking forward to hearing from you for your feedback. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. And take it easy.